Stand up.
Yes, sir.
You got the report back that you wanted. What's the bottom line that you can say about this total experience? What happened? What caused it? What's the significance?
Well, the first thing I'll say is that it's definitely not man-made. There are elements of work that created this that are the exact same elements that we see in England. Don't judge a book by its cover. The energy is definitely there. It doesn't have to be pretty, but whatever did this is the energy that we're chasing as far as researching goes. There's a consciousness behind it. And I think really as far as the significance of it, you know, I think it goes hand in hand with everything else. I think there's a disclosure going on at this point. And I know it's been going on for a while, but I know we all know that something is going on right now. The shift is in full swing. We are all going through issues in our life right now that we can't explain, whether it's relationships, whether it's gatherings just like this. And we're a part of that shift. And shifts occur in the planet, shifts occur in the universe. Our bodies are part of the universe. Our bodies are part of the elements that this planet is made of. Our bodies are reflecting those same changes as well. So I think really to answer your question, I think it's just a part of the awakening. I think that hey, we're the ones who are faced with things, and we make our reality. If this is going to be a sign of better things to come, and that's our truth, and I think that's what we choose to believe as. But we're the architects of what's going on here. I think there's a lot of help going on around us, and I think there's a lot of things that are trying to get our attention. And I wish I knew the exact reason, but I can honestly say I do not. But we've got to just keep pushing forward.
Michael, you made a comment to answer that gentleman's question, was this was a part of the awakening. And I think that pretty much summed up the entire, that question, was that this is a part of the awakening. This room is filled with over 60 people right now. That's a part of the awakening. The fact that Dr. Kitai and Rebecca Hardcastle, that's a part of the awakening. Lee Over is a part of the awakening. All of those, Jeff, you're a part of the awakening. And so we're all a part of this happening to us here in the early 21st century. MUFON is growing like it has never grown before, along with other UFO organizations like Jeff's and yours and Robert and Jennifer's, who's doing the filming over here. It's just happening. And what's the explanation? The explanation is that human consciousness is going to be raised to a level as never before. And so we're going to continue seeing this stuff. It's going to increase in frequency. And so just stay awake and stay on top of this.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Yes, sir.
These pictures here have the appearance of plasma discharge. The circular motion,
right?
This is very common in plasma discharge. I'm not an educated person. I'm just interested in the truth.
Right.
And I've been observing this for years. And if anybody is interested in checking into that, just Google plasma discharge, or a good website is thunderbolts.info.
Right.
They have a picture of the day, and they show daily how on Earth and in space and on planets were formed by plasma discharge. This is totally rejected by the scientific community.
Exactly. And you know, that's a great point, because Dr. Levengood,
Thunderbolts.info.
plasma vortices, that's what this is about. So
that's exactly what those circular forms look like.
Yeah. So I commend you, and that's exactly what we're looking at. It it changes the mitochondria of the stalks, and everything internal is changed by what
Well,
you're...
even you mentioned a braided pattern,
Right.
Some of it. Well, plasma produces Birkeland currents, which are like ribbons of current,
Exactly.
and they would do that.
Exactly it. You know, and it's been said too, and that's a good point about, you mentioned currents, is,
This is electrical that caused this.
see,
There's nothing metaphysical about it.
and I wouldn't argue. I wouldn't argue with that.
Sure, there's an intelligence behind it.
Right, right. If you look at, talking about currents and wavelengths and sound and frequency, a lot of the patterns that, Ruth, I know you're familiar with, are directly linked as far as I'm concerned. One of is sound. Researcher Freddie Silva said, well, does sound create crop formations? If you go back and do the research of Hans Jenny, or Jenny, the study of cymatics, just from a frequency, makes these patterns, whether it's water or powders. You pump sound frequency into it, it makes these patterns. So there's a lot going on. And again, as you said, there's a lot of different things involved here, and it's almost like these are all the tools that are used with the consciousness. What is that consciousness? What is that? Who is it? And yes, sir?
Did Channel 3 see it from the air?
Allegedly, they did not. Again, when I was there was a couple Passovers. But then again, I hadn't spoke with Channel 3 when I was out there. But they did contact me a day later. To my surprise, they called my home. My wife passed on the message at Channel 3. Scott Davis at Channel 3 was interested. Again, I hadn't really told anybody outside the house. So it happened real quick, and that kind of makes me wonder. Yes?
Did they even get to air the study or the interview?
They did. They did. The initial one they aired had a great time slot. It was right after Dr. Phil. And it was right after. And they did a good job. They didn't poo-poo it too much, but they did throw in the segment of, I believe, the gentleman in Tolleson. He was a farmer, and I know there was a formation of sorts a few years back. And, they had to put in right after I had my say that they said it was very common. They see this sort of thing all the time. It's over-fertilization. I'm so glad you guys are laughing, because I've said that in front of somebody and they just look at me straight. But I know you guys know better. The oversized seed heads due to over-fertilization, coupled with a little bit of wind, will do this every time. The gentleman said, I grew up with this. See it all the time. It's nothing to be concerned about. What Mr. Polani is seeing is probably just that. And what's funny is I faxed this entire thing to, I'm not sure the proper way to pronounce his last name. I'll call it Hermes, even though there's a lot of history that goes along with that name. Ed Hermes, or Ed Herms. He was the head or the director of the agricultural department, who is now, if you look at some of the streets, the street corners, he's running for council. I faxed everything to him because he, after a talk I did at Basha High School, Miss Edith Jensen from Arizona Republic was there, very nice woman, but didn't include one piece of scientific anything. They said I was a UFO buff from California, and pretty much that was it. Well, I guess long story short, they continue with the twist things like that. Oversized seed heads, it's nothing to it. Well, this gentleman said the same thing. Asked him for his expertise on it. And he said, we've never had any farmer in the state of Arizona ever say that they've seen something like this in the crop, and it's just a fertilization thing, nothing to worry about. And no, he never contacted us, he never responded to me. And I thought I was very complimentary of him too. I said, man, in your position, I'd love to speak with it, and I'm sure you could probably teach me a few things. No, he's just running for councilman now, and he's going to perpetuate the ignorance.